We need a beat.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fifth Quarter. Whoa! Hey everyone, welcome to the Fifth Quarter Fantasycast. I'm your host, Coach B, and I'm joined by my co-hosts and friends, Peepaw and Dr. Dry. Welcome in, my friends. Welcome in, my internet friends. All 0 of you, but soon to be 1 or 2 or 7. That would be neat. So
that would be a record.
How has y'all's week been, fantasy or otherwise?
Next.
Pat.
Get to me next week. Maybe I'll have a different answer for you. No, I mean not too much really. Yeah, we're just kind of rolling, waiting into trying to see what the upcoming mini camp coming up and see what that yields. Until I make some final cuts from our dynasty squads and really be interesting to see what battles end up forming between some quarterbacks and maybe running backs or wide receivers out there. So looking forward to see what the camp has this coming week.
Yeah, I was. I guess good news this week. Will Levis is out for the season, so we don't have to worry about him being the backup. We can rely on someone much more reliable. I don't even know who our third, fourth, and fifth string is, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't think they have any.
Stinky.
Yeah, it's been a pretty quiet week for fantasy. I can't think of anything crazy newsworthy that's gone on. But wait, because training camp injuries are coming. So there's always a couple guys who tear or break something. Will Levis, he went ahead and just tore or broke whatever it was. Instead of dealing with the dream of being replaced, he was just like, I'll just go get surgery.
The problem was he dealt with this all last season, so obviously that was the reason why he didn't perform up to expectations last year. So it all makes sense now.
Yeah, I mean, bad decisions on the field and off the field. So just get out. It's addition by subtraction. I'm happy with it.
It's fine. At the end of the day, no one's hurting.
This latte for nothing.
Yeah, that's an embarrassing moment.
Season 1.
Well, this week we're going to be previewing we're heading out west. We're good lucking out west. So we're doing the hey, wait a minute. Do y'all know something I don't know about Pete Carroll?
What happened? Oh.
So
it's like some obituary.
So Pete Carroll died. Just kidding, but he is the new coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And
wait, does that mean he was resurrected because he retired, died, and then came back? So he's like a phoenix now?
It's the second coming. It's a miracle. He rose from the dead, and now he's back with the Las Vegas Raiders. And for the next hour, we're going to talk about Pete Carroll. So we're going to go ahead and start off our AFC West preview with the Las Vegas Raiders. And they've had a bit of an off season. They have a new quarterback, dare I say a big upgrade in Geno Smith. I like him on the Raiders. I like that he's been reunited with Pete Carroll. Probably the biggest thing, they got one of my favorite running backs I've ever scouted, Ashton Genty. He is my number 3 in season long. He's my number 3 in dynasty. The reason why I think you can really bet on him is first round running backs have a 70% hit rate. And if they're drafted it's an 86% hit rate. And I didn't just change that because we have a viewer, but it is 86%. And if you've been drafted in the top 10, then you have a 100% hit rate in the last 10 years. Put in with names like Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Todd Gurley, if you're into that sort of thing. You remember how dominant he was. CMC is in there. Top 10 picks in the last 10 years have we lost him. Top 10 picks in the last at running back have really shown off. Jahmyr Gibbs, just outside the top 10. It's a good bet. He dominated in college. I don't care that he went to Boise State. He was dominant. So his contact balance is out of this world. Love me some Ashton Genty. I would feel comfortable taking him anywhere from the mid first round to late first round. I'm not gunning around getting him. And then, they also got younger at receiver. They still got Jacoby Myers there. He's okay. He's serviceable, in my opinion. They have arguably the tight end 1 in Brock Bowers. He's my tight end 2. He's like 1B for me. I love Trey McBride a bit more, which we'll talk about on this show tonight. But Brock Bowers, hell of a rookie season. I love their. I think they got him in the 3rd or 4th round. Dante Thornton out of Tennessee. If you're a Vols fan, you know about him. If you're not a Vols fan, you're about to find out about him. 6'5", ran a 4.3 at the combine. Only 2 other players have done that in history: Calvin Johnson and DK Metcalf. So I'd say he's in pretty good. As far as a physical specimen goes, Dante Thornton's right there. So, kind of underrated in college. He had kind of a shitty quarterback in Nico Iamaleava. And they also drafted Jack Besh. A lot of people really like him. He showed out at the Senior Bowl. When I'm on, I just like Dante Thornton better and at a better cost as well. Overall, I think the arrow's pointing up over there in Memphis. Lots of good things to say about them. So that's my take on Vegas. What say you, fellas?
I will say having Pete Carroll brings a mixed bag of things. Just to piggyback on what you're saying about Ashton Genty, obviously we know Pete Carroll loves to use running back position, but the thing that kills me is, who else they have is Raheem Mostert. You know whose dreams Raheem Mostert killed Miami? Yes. So he seems to be the crusher of all hopes and dreams for any young running back. I think they'll both be heavily utilized probably. I'll be real interested to see what that breakdown is. Really good to have Geno back with Pete Carroll, though. I think it's a good combo. They worked well together, and we'll see if Pete can brush off the dust and see how much gum he can chew within one sitting on the sidelines right there in the New Balances. So keep up the good work, Pete, and we'll see what happens. Just to echo off what you were saying, but Brock Bowers, absolute stud out there, and a lot of young talent they got. I don't think they'll do much this season, but rebuild, and we'll see where they go from that.
I think they'll have a pretty nice season with all the changes from the top down, from Pete to Geno. Just upgrading the quarterback position is so huge because we saw last year, their best asset was Brock Bowers, but even he couldn't overcome certain quarterback play. So having someone consistent there at quarterback is going to be huge. I'm confident that Genty's going to rise to the top. Mostert does crush dreams, but Genty's a much more polished, ready to go 3-down back than Achane, is/was. So hopefully it'll rise a lot. And also, Mostert gets hurt. His whole career he gets hurt. So he's only had that one miracle season where he didn't get hurt. He was kind of irrelevant last year. So more than likely he'll just get hurt. It'll be a Genty backfield. So I have a lot of confidence in the Raiders. I think you could probably get a hold of some wide receivers like Myers at a good price. And with the changes in quarterback, that's going to be a more of a value pick than it was last year. So I'm up on the Raiders. I kind of feel about the Raiders like I feel about the Panthers this year. There's some good stuff to be mined off of that team.
They also did lose Devontae Adams, which we'll chat about here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice. Okay, so we're talking about the Chiefs. So the Chiefs came off, just shy of the Super Bowl last year, reloading with the same guys: Mahomes, Pacheco, Worthy, Rice, Kelsey, who was kind of a downer last year. I think for me, like a lot of the talk has been around like Pacheco because he missed so much time last year and he was already kind of slowing down. So that's something that people who may have taken Pacheco a little higher last year, he's probably seems like he's going to be falling in those drafts as people are unsure what to do with him. But he's, I think it's year 3 for Pacheco. So that's been a question that I've seen tossed around in a lot of the fantasy like circles and podcasts and stuff like that. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, they're just Rashee Rice getting a fair shake this year, hopefully, and seeing him full season, and Xavier Worthy second season. So yeah, we saw them use the receivers a little bit better last year. Maybe the receiving core becomes more relevant. What y'all think about the Kansas City Swifts?
I think, possible look at Noah Gray in some deeper tight end leagues. We did see him utilized a bit more towards the end of the season, so tight ends making a comeback over the past couple seasons, showing some prominence. So I think everyone knows Kelsey is probably going to be the top target there. Noah Gray should open up some options for him, and we'll see what happens with Rashee Rice with legal battles and such. So I think that's still out to be determined on that one. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets still some kind of a suspension from the NFL, but what do I know? I'm just on a podcast with two guys talking to nobody. So
yeah,
I think obviously I think the backfield we still got. I would love to see how Pacheco does. He looked like he was coming back into himself at the tail end of the season when he came back from his injury. I really liked him coming out of college. Absolute baller out there. So we know Mahomes can do some crazy things with his skills. And overall, I'm looking at Noah Gray and seeing if we can take a second-year leap for the wide receivers and Xavier Worthy out there.
Yeah, I love the Noah Gray take. I think that's awesome, especially in deep dynasty leagues where I do think he's the heir apparent to Travis Kelce if he does decide to hang it up after this season. We will see there. 50 Shades of Gray coming at you. Looking forward to that. Now, Rashee Rice, I think he is a league winner. He was on a wild tear in the few games they played before Mahomes injured him. And, and I think that's suspension enough, but he'll probably get, I want to say probably another 3 games or something. I think he gets a small suspension this year, but they'll probably put it at a convenient time in the Chiefs' schedule because the NFL does not do the Chiefs wrong. But I think Rashee Rice is a league winner. I think he's someone that you can scoop up at a good cost. You're getting him at a discount because you're discounting. There's a few things baked into his price, right? So there's like his legal issues. People are worried about him coming off the injury, but Coach Andy Reid has said he's full go. He's doing everything right now, so I'm not worried about him coming back from the injury. He also avoided like really tearing the ACL or something very important with a much bigger recovery time. Let's get deep in our bag here. Brashard Smith. I love Brashard Smith. He was a 7th round running back taken out of SMU. He is a wide receiver converted over to running back, fast as fuck, awesome running back. I think, and y'all are going to hate me for this, but I think he could take Pacheco's job. He does not have the draft capital, but he's just such, if you watch the highlight tape, I just fell in love with the highlight tape. I think he's someone that brings some much needed juice where they have a bunch of old guys in that offense. If anything, even if he doesn't take Pacheco's job, he could definitely carve out a Jerick McKinnon type of role like we saw a couple years ago. So it could be a thing where there's a two-headed monster in that backfield where everyone gets to eat. So so that could happen. Definitely some things to look forward to with the Chiefs. You got some of the same players, some newer players. Jalen Royals, extremely crowded receiver room, but I love that draft pick, more so in real life than for fantasy. But really love Jalen Royals. I thought he had a really good, was putting together a really good season before he got hurt last year in college. So a few deeper takes there, and I think Kansas City just does a good job of finding talent. So excited about what they're going to bring to the table.
All right.
Put it in reverse, Najee. We got the LA Chargers. So we got Najee Harris because he lost an eye, and he, there's fireworks incident. So to honor him, we have Terry here, so LA Chargers, very interesting team. A lot of changes, I guess. They signed Mike Williams. He retired before he could get injured this season. So I knew he wasn't going to be anything. I'm glad he saved us the trouble of having to wait on like a Trey Harris or someone. They still have Quentin Johnston there. I'm not a Quentin Johnston guy. I think he sucks. I think he catches with his body. I think there's just so many better options there. And here's how I know he sucks. I don't have him anywhere. I will never draft him. But every team that had him that I played last year, it came down to like Monday night, and he showed up extremely small. He put up like 2 or 3 points. I wasn't even worried. Like, even if they were in striking distance, I just was not worried about Quentin Johnston. He's just one of those players that doesn't strike fear into your opponents. I do like Trey Harris. I think he's very boom bust out of Ole Miss. Ole Miss has a pedigree, though. I mean, we've seen it with DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. They produce receivers as of late. So excited to see, if he becomes something. I do think he becomes their number 2 out there. And then you got Ladidi McConkey. I know that's someone that we're all very high on. And he's actually become he's kind of a fringe wide receiver 1-2. You can usually catch him somewhere in the mid-second of season long this year, at least from what I've seen. And I think he continues that. He's someone that you feel good about in your lineup. He's dependable, just gets that volume. And I think he'll get more of that volume, sort of like what we saw at the end of last year. Omarion Hampton, oh my goodness. Yeah, he's going to be good. He's also first-round running back. I believe, did he go first round or was it second? I think it was end of first.
I think it was first.
It feels like, yeah, I think it was first. It was end of the first, I think. But yeah, Omarion Hampton. People were saying like worry about Najee Harris. He has one eye. You can't, he's gotten his vision's gone. He's old. He's nothing special. He's a depreciating asset. Nothing to worry about there, I don't think. So LA Chargers, Justin Herbert, definitely a good value pick at quarterback, I think. And then I believe there was someone else I really liked. I can't remember. I can't remember what they did at tight end. I can't remember if that was.
They picked up Tyler Conklin from the Jets.
The Conk. Yeah,
they've got 2 Conks on the same team. So.
Okay. Do they really?
Yeah, it's double Conk.
Oh yeah, the Conk. Yeah, McConk and Conklin. Yeah, so they're conking it up over there in LA. They're I guess a middle of the road kind of team. They'll do a little bit of they have some good fantasy assets for us though.
Is there anyone left to talk to? Oh yes, there is. All hail Dicker the Kicker. Cameron Dicker, if you're into that kind of stuff in a kicker league, I personally am. We all know that. He is my dude if I'm going to pick a dude. And other than that, Ladidi McConkey, as you've already mentioned, he is probably, like you mentioned, a fringe wide receiver 1, still some wide receiver 2 category. We just wonder what's going to happen with his size over the course of the second season. held up well. Couple bruised up a little bit in the first part of the season last year, and be interested to see how he holds up. But running back room is crowded all over the place. A little kind of messy wide receiver, except for Lad McConkey, and I really don't know what to expect, in all honesty, from them. I always want good things for Herbert. I think he's a great player, but he's always gets stuck in a sucky situation every single season. I want to see something good happen to him this year.
Last year he got plantar fasciitis.
Yeah, he's had something every single season. Boy can't stay healthy.
Yeah, the only thing I can add is just year 2 with Harbaugh putting in his offensive scheme. So does that shade more toward running the ball more, passing the ball less, or the opposite of that? I'm not sure. The Najee ad could shade toward we're going to run more than we did last year with two backs like that. But because, I mean, with his previous running back room, it seems like he couldn't trust any of those guys to like hold up. And so he's got 2 guys now who, Najee's a veteran but durable, and Hampton's a fresh rookie. So maybe running more, which would be bad for those other assets. But are we really like paying attention to the other receivers? Like Lad's going to get his. So I think it'll feel kind of similar. Like you can start Herbert, you can start Lad, and then hopefully Najee doesn't get too much in the way of Hampton doing this thing, but he could. But those are really, who you're going to be playing, unless someone else surprises us.
I have a hunch. What if Najee sparks an explosion with the backfield?
We could see some fireworks for sure.
There's going to be so much of that this year. He's going to be sick of it.
He would do well in Leanna. That one time we shot those fireworks and they turned on us and we had to run, and it singed the back of my head and my hair never grew back. Yeah,
that was an annual tradition. Firework mishaps, shirtless people. Kelso, he was very shirtless, sexy man.
Kelso.
I forgot the Zig Man. The Zig Man needs to come on to the podcast.
That would be. Just let him, no context, just let him react and talk.
Yeah, we'll get the Zig Man into the comment section next podcast. He'll
get him on.
He's kind of world famous. Oh God. Well, we have the Denver Broncos here. It reminds me of like donkey teeth. Is this the OG donkey teeth?
It might be. I always call him the Horsehead Hall of Famer.
It fits.
Denver had a good offseason, I think. They had a good draft with RJ Harvey. A lot of people were excited about. They came off of an exciting season. It seems like that program is starting to all kind of come together. So, Mims, people are looking for Mims to take that next step. Cortland Sutton. And then also adding Evan Ingram at tight end seems like a nice add. I think one downside is J.K. Dobbins, if he holds up, is he going to like mess up R.J. Harvey's progression? But Dobbins can't finish a season, so it doesn't matter either way. We should be fine. So I think there's a little bit even more to talk about this year with Denver than maybe even last year. So what are y'all excited about with Denver?
I think if we learned anything, well, obviously R.J. Harvey just being a rookie and running back, but if we learned anything last year, Sean Payton likes to F over the entire running back room. You have no idea what's going to happen every single game, so it's difficult to pick one of those running backs and hope they do well each game. The wide receivers, that's probably what I'm most excited about to go along with Bo Nix's second season. I'll be really excited to see how these guys transform above and beyond from what they did last year. Obviously surprised quite a bit of people, and it's awesome to see. I picked them early, probably week 2 last year, and said this is a team I want to do well, and they ended up doing pretty dang good throughout the rest of the season. They also added Evan Ingram, so beefs up the tight end room a little bit more from what they had last season. Always benefit in the pass catching game and blocking game. So I think Bo Nix will have a pretty good season. We'll see if he can continue it, and he's pretty creative with what he can do. So I like him late round, but with the resurgence he had a little bit over the season, towards the end of it, maybe it boosts his numbers a little bit, but I'm iffy on any of the running backs as much as I want to take someone. I will take Bo Nix, and I will take a shot on one of those receivers as well if I were drafting.
Yeah, love Bo Nix. I think he definitely takes a step forward in year 2. Apparently, everybody there loves him too. I mean, he had a great year, so who wouldn't? But they're building around him now too. I'm very excited about RJ Harvey. I have him in so many places. I've traded. I believe I traded Coach V, Tyreek Hill, and a 26 first just to go grab him. And a very hefty price tag, but that's how much I believe in RJ Harvey. He's a monster. Watch the tape. Nothing to worry about with J.K. Dobbins. Where I do worry is Sean Payton getting crazy because he says I don't think you can trust the guy. He says one thing, like he sees RJ Harvey as the Joker role, the Kamara. I think he's been looking for that Kamara player, and I think RJ Harvey is it because he's him. So he just needs to realize it. J.K. Dobbins, just kidding Dobbins. That's what I call him because like he'll have a good game and then he'll go get hurt. Oh, just kidding. I'm not going to do anything. So it's really going to suck those first week or two whenever he's stealing carries from RJ Harvey. But after that, I think we'll be good to go. But I think where J.K. Dobbins really affects that running back room is I think RJ Harvey, he has the draft capital, second round. Like they're not going to just not use him. I think J.K. Dobbins really hurts Estime and McLaughlin and like just those other Jags in the backfield. So Pat Bryant, they drafted him out of Illinois, and I know Coach Payton, even though we can't trust him, he did say he sees shades of Michael Thomas there before he fell off, right? So like he sees him as a complete package wide receiver. They do have Cortland Sutton. He is getting older, so I think that they brought in a little bit of youth into that room. And Marvin Mims, he's super fast. Hopefully they can get him the ball a bit more. And then also that defense, like they added some more to it. I think that defense is going to be a complete game changer. They're going to continue to do what they do, and they've only gotten stronger. I really like I forget his name, but I think he's a safety out of Texas. They got him, I want to say, as their first round pick. But yeah, they're definitely like loading up over on that defense, and look out for the Broncos this year. And they have the horse head at the helm at GM.
What do you think's happier, the horse or Elway?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
mouth is a lot more open.
Yeah, but his nose is also folded downwards.
His nose.
I believe I'm getting word that we have a word from our sponsor for tonight.
We do.
Is that right?
Yeah. One of our good old sponsors wants to run it back. So yeah, enjoy this ad from one of our sponsors.
Hey folks, it's Michael from Michael's Pizza. I hope you enjoy pizza, because at Michael's we have it. Come on down and enjoy yourself a slice of hot, tasty pizza at Michael's Pizza. We'll have several specials at Michael's Pizza. On Tuesdays, we have burgers. On Thursdays, we have fries. And on Saturdays, we have ice cream. So come on down to Michael's Pizza. Grab yourself a handful of Chex Mix and sit down for a slice of hot, tasty pizza.
All right, thanks, Mike. Always
so can you get like hamburger and fries on your pizza?
On those days, yes, but like they don't prefer it. Like you're gonna have to ask for that special.
Yeah, and then you can get ice cream on Saturdays, an ice cream pizza.
Yeah, if you're nice to Mac.
Yeah, but don't. Hopefully they make it up front because we know what's in the back.
They might be next week sponsor.
Yeah, I think so. If they run it back with us, I'm all for it. So rankings, what do we think about the AFC West?
Coach, I'll let you go first on that.
Let's go. Yeah, you have to go Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
Ooh. I'm going bold prediction. We're going Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders.
We almost have the same. I'm going Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers.
Whoa.
I don't know. I think like 10 years is enough for Kansas City.
Yep. It's time.
Yeah. And also like they had an insane amount of luck in their wins last year. Just the probabilities are way off. They're not. That's not going to happen again. They were probably the least impressive team to make the Super Bowl in a while. Like they had the record, but if you watch, they were not dominant at all.
Have you seen the memes of the Coldplay concert where they're putting everyone's pictures on it? They got Patrick Mahomes as the dude in the back. You got the ref in the front, and Mahomes is like.
That should have been what I used.
Very true. Let's slide on over to the NFC West now. Start out with the Rams here. Had some shifting around at the wide receiver room, notably with the departure of Cooper Kupp and bringing in of Davante Adams. Should slide into that role fairly well. I'll be interested to see how him and Puka Nacua stack up with each other. Kyren Williams is going to put out another banger probably this season. Would expect nothing less out of him. And I guess we'll see if Stafford can go ahead and produce another season that he seems to do year after year. So what you guys think?
So I love the Davante Adams edition. I think him and Pikachu are going to be electric. Davante Adams is awesome just historically. I don't think he's finished below a wide receiver 1. He's always a top 12. Mm-hmm. I think he can still remain holding his own, even with Puka there. Puka, he's a monster. He's going at the end of first, early second. I think I've seen ADP of 8, anywhere from like 8 to 10 or 12. And Davante Adams, I'm definitely like still. I don't even care that he's like over the age of 30. Like he still produces. In fact, Stafford might be a really good buy right now too, because you can get him for probably nothing. You can probably get him undrafted. I've never been a Kyren owner. I've heard some experts saying.
Should try it.
Yeah. I've heard some experts saying that that he could fall off this year. I don't know why he would. He hasn't shown any signs or anything like that. He's not old. So I mean, I tend to think that he's not going to fall off. I think he'll continue doing what he does. Let's see. They drafted a tight end that I know that they're pretty excited about, but I forget his. I was so deep in rookie research months ago, I forget his name.
Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah, Turd Ferguson Jr. So Terrence Ferguson, he tight end out of Oregon. I like him. I do think he's going to be utilized. And then let's see who else. But yeah, also like Pikachu, like what a lucky guy. He got to learn behind Cup for a little bit, and now Devontae Adams, like that's awesome. Like just the route running that he's picked up on. He's worked with their personal coaches and things like that. Hell of a start to his career. But just the sheer volume that man gets is insane. But yeah, I'm excited. I think the Rams are just so fantasy friendly, and they've been this way for a while. I think McVay has really grown on me as one of those fantasy coaches that you can depend on to get the right guys the ball.
Yeah, I think the Rams are just a team with like guys who keep producing even though you're not sure. Like in like different stages, like. We don't know how Stafford just keeps coming back and keeps playing and keeps being fantasy relevant. Devontae Adams, who's like a little bit less far along in his career, but still far along like Stafford, he continues to produce consistently when he's healthy and out on the field and has someone who can throw the ball. And then Kyron Williams, who's at the early part of his career, continues to produce year after year, even though we kind of predict his like drop off. Because even his first year, people were like, oh, there's no way. He weighs like 180 pounds. He's not going to hold up. And then like the next year, they were like, definitely not this year. He weighs 180 pounds. He's not going to hold up. So they just got guys who keep producing. So you gotta ride that till like it doesn't work out anymore. And the thing is like all of them are pretty cheap. I guess Kyron would be the most expensive, but even if like it doesn't work out, you're not that pissed. Like if you picked up Stafford, you picked it up and started him, you're not pissed off in that scenario. Like it's just like, okay, it's fine. So yeah, I like the Rams this year. I think Devontae's gonna open it up for Puka, who already like produces really well. So I don't know what he's going to do with like a Devontae Adams, because Cup was good to be paired with, but like Adams is a whole nother like type of threat than Cup was. So this could be even better for Puka, or vice versa. Like Puka is so covered up that Devontae is just running all over the team. So it'd be tough to play the Rams.
I know the offensive line was a struggle for them last year, and that hindered Stafford's performances at times. But question is, if they stay healthy, is it A, possible we can have 2 wide receiver ones on the squad, or B, do we think they pull away from each other's stats a little bit? Do we end up with a Bengals situation with 2 elite wide receivers? What are y'all's gauges on having these 2 elite wide receivers?
I think, I don't think they take away from each other. I think they'll complement each other. So with that being said, I see Stafford as the main beneficiary of it. But yeah, I think they'll definitely help each other. They're both too good to be affected by one another. They're both like pretty durable. I watched that show Wide Receiver on Netflix a couple years ago. And there's a key difference there between Devontae Adams and Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel always getting hurt. Like, hey, this guy never plays, or he plays the first quarter and then he's out. Devontae Adams, warrior, like went through it, stayed in the game, finished the game, was pissed if he had to even leave for a few plays. And then Puka, he plays like a total jackass. Like he loves putting himself in harm's way. Like who was it? I saw a thing. It was like Puka Nacua highlights, but it had the Jackass song in the background. And anyway, but yeah, he does like play with reckless abandon. So I do worry about Puka sometimes, and he has had some little injuries here and there, but he tends to play through pretty well too. So yeah, I think they'll help each other out.
Yeah, I think the pie just gets bigger with Adams and Puka together, and they're not stealing from each other. So they're just both going to get bigger slices of a bigger pie, which is a good thing.
Munch, munch, munch. Oh.
Are we going to guess there's a certain game that he's playing?
Probably Call of Duty. I was curious. So we'll go ahead and beat around, or we're not going to beat around the bush here. So I think I've been pretty consistent with my take of Kyler Murray's stats go down whenever a new Call of Duty comes out, and it holds true every year the new Call of Duty comes out. Now I Googled, I'm not a Call of Duty player, but there is Black Ops 7 is coming out in I want to say end of October, early November of this year. So we are not safe from Kyler Murray this year. Draft but trade him before Call of Duty comes out. So, don't go by the trade deadline. Go by the Call of Duty release date. That's whenever you move off of Kyler Murray, because he does pretty well before the game comes out. But after that, not so much. Marvin Harrison Jr., I do think he gets better this year. Trey McBride, he is my tight end 1. I love Trey McBride. Brock Bowers is awesome too, but Trey McBride did all that without the touchdowns. And he was like pretty close. He finished, I think, tight end 2. So he's due for some touchdown progression. So I love him. James Conner's still doing it. He's still doing it. Just pop a Viagra and get out there, bud. But they drafted Trey Benson last year. I think the expectation was eventually James Conner's going to get hurt and Trey Benson will take over. Well, that didn't happen. So I think we're gearing up for another year of James Conner, but you might want to handcuff him with Trey Benson if you're into that sort of thing. You can honestly probably get both of them very late in your drafts. So maybe just get one of them. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I think it's pretty much just it's Kyler. And he's a great dual threat quarterback. He will get you some rushing yards. It's Kyler, it's Trey McBride. I do think Trey McBride is the focal point of that offense. And then you got Marvin Harrison Jr. And other than that, not too much to get excited about. But that's the Cardinals.
I think last year's performance may let you, and redraft leagues might be able to get you a better pick for Harrison than you did last year. Because I remember last year he was going in the first round in a lot of drafts. Obviously didn't live up to the expectation with that. So perhaps this pushes him down a little bit on the ladder. You might be able to get him in the second, third round potentially, depending on what kind of a league you're in. But realistically, as you mentioned, really, we're talking Kyler Murray potentially if you're needing a quarterback. He does have that upside ability, definitely. He was really hot and cold last season, but you got him, Marvin Harrison, and Trey McBride, as you mentioned, focal point of the offense, and he's getting it done week in, week out. So at the end of the day, I think that's where you finish up at, those three guys.
The Cardinals have kind of just been like the same team for like 3 years-ish, as far as just like expectations. Like, I don't think anyone expects the Cardinals to win their division or even go to the playoffs. And they just like keep being the same team and kind of the same fantasy assets, including James Conner, who I think is like, man, just always like such a good deal. He's been like a good deal for like, I don't know, 4 seasons. I can't I mean, he gets hurt, but you still like are fine with it, and people root for that guy. So, MHJ, I think he could like come into like that Neighbors BTJ territory, and we forget about the slow start this year. I think maybe he just needed an extra year, or it's the offense he's in. But I guess that doesn't matter because Neighbors was in a shit offense, and he still did well in his first year. So
that's because.
So anyway,
but
yeah, maybe MHJ closes that gap. You're welcome, Joe, and makes people feel a little bit better about things, about their first round draft pick in their dynasty league.
Yeah. He so MHJ, here's kind of where I'm at on him. I'm still trying to like buy in, I guess. fully. But I kind of see it as a JSN situation. So he's just a year later, right? So like JSN kind of a shitty rookie year. I know in rookie drafts in Dynasty he was going like, in some cases 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. He was probably 1.2 or 1.3, whereas MHJ was the 1.1 for most people. So super high draft capital, high expectations and everything, but fell short that rookie year. But JSN, towards that second half of his second year, he started to get it, and now he's the main focal point there. And I do think MHJ and Trey McBride can coexist. Maybe MHJ becomes McBride's groom. We'll see, and maybe they'll have a good marriage over there in Arizona.
All right.
Speaking of gay marriage.
Speaking of gay marriage, so we got San Fran, and sorry, San Fran. So San Francisco. This show isn't about hate, but it currently is. So there you go.
Spread hate, baby.
So I think the big thing is, how does McCaffrey look? I think he's, everything's fine when you're recovering, when you're coming back, but is it fine when you get out on the field? Because we saw things just kind of fall apart without having a steady presence in the backfield, a good threat in the backfield, on top of Ayuk being hurt last year. So I feel like San Francisco just really ended the year extremely disappointed with themselves. The fans are disappointed. But then, that Super Bowl window might be closed or is closing for them. So I don't know what they do this year as far as how far are they pressing to win this year, win now. Seems like they need to. But yeah, so the return of Ayuk, is it Jennings or the other guy who wants a contract? Is it Jennings Jennings wants a contract? Ball is coming on. So this is a good-looking room if everyone's on the field, and we know San Francisco knows how to scheme it up to get guys their fantasy points. So it's really just a matter of, do you believe folks will be out there, stay out there, and how well they're going to do?
Yeah, I believe Ayuk is still up in the air for his timeline for the season. So whether he's there to start the season or not, I'd be kind of shocked if he is personally. But he's kind of sitting out there. Juwan Jennings was the darling last season that everyone fell in love with. I personally have Ricky Pearsall in our Dynasty League. I've been hoping that he finds a connection with Purdy and is able to put something together as the second wide receiver there. And I'd like to see if Juwan was just a fluke last season or if this is something that can continue. It'd be encouraging to see it continue, but we'll see if that holds true. And McCaffrey, we obviously never know. He's great when he's great, and he's obviously, when he's not playing, he's not great. So would like to see him healthy, play a full season. Always rooting for guys to stay healthy. But I think the trick that they now have this year is they now have Mac Jones as the backup quarterback. The dude's a legend. So, this is going to be the season they take, and it's all going to be because of Mac Jones. Kind of like Kenny Pickett. Now that the Eagles had Kenny Pickett as the backup quarterback, he was able to take them to the Super Bowl and win. So, Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett. It's not going to be Super Bowl champion Mac Jones, but, you rode the bench the entire way. You're kind of like that guy in the class project that didn't do anything but still got the A. That's Kenny Pickett and Mac Jones.
Yeah, I think Kenny Pickett's on the Browns, so I don't know if that's going to happen this year.
He's still Super Bowl champion, so what does it matter?
What does it matter? Yeah, so I'm like pretty down on the 49ers this year. I think they've got a very messy receiver room. I think CMC, he's out of the last 5 years. He's had 2 complete seasons. One of them was pretty historic, but he I'm pretty out on him. And I was telling everybody on this show, don't draft him 1.1. Go with Chase or Jefferson or someone else. Do not take CMC. He had too big of a workload, and lo and behold, he was hurt all year. So and that's why I'm saying, like, Saquon Barkley, I'm comfortable taking him at the end of the first, which he's not going to be there. So like, it's someone's let your league mates do that. Let your league mates take the person who's like loaded up with carries. But CMC, I guess I would take that swing upside. Like if he were to fell to the end of the second, like after a bunch of receivers that I like have been gone or something. But pretty out on CMC. I think he's got a much higher chance of getting hurt and not finishing the year than being a league winner. But he could prove us wrong. That receiving room, Brandon Ayuk, there's no timetable for him to come back. Just saw that sleeper message come across a couple days ago, I believe, and actually traded him for like a mid-second in this year's draft. So happy I did. So I'm off on Ayuk. Jawan Jennings, I like him. I like him a lot. I trade him for a 28 first, just to get another first. Ricky Pearsall. I do like Ricky Pearsall. I know he's out of Florida. I don't see a lot of Florida receivers pan out, but I know he's as long as he doesn't get shot, we should see him get to touch the field. The big winner that I see in San Fran, and he's been there forever. He has a macro penis. George Kittle, that long-haired fuck. He'll get the ball and he's going to go off. I believe in games without Deebo Samuel, he averaged like 79 yards a game or something. Deebo's gone. Their receiver room's a mess. CMC's hurt. George Kittle, I think, is going to eat. I think he's going to go crazy. I think I'd be comfortable taking him if I miss out on one of the big three tight ends. Take him in like the 5th round or something, and feel pretty dang good about your tight end room there. I think their Super Bowl window is definitely closing. So anyway, that's my take on the 69ers.
All right, we got our final one.
I didn't do anything silly for this one. It's just a cool looking picture of JS.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's not Tyler Lockett.
No. So what the picture almost was, and I know Tyler Lockett's on the Titans now, but I was going to do Tyler Lockett, but like an angle of his hairline, like way back here. And then I was like, nah, we'll just keep this.
Yeah, so we got the Seahawks up next, which they've once again had quite a bit of switch around over the offseason with the departure of DK Metcalf, departure of Geno Smith, addition of Cooper Kupp, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So quite a bit of shifting around they've had. Also drafted Jalen Milroe at quarterback. With the stud of a season that Sam Darnold had last year, is it possible JSN is the Jefferson that he had when he was with the Vikings? Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet should be a fantastic 1-2 punch again this season. I'm looking for them to be the toughest in this division and likely win it handedly is my assumption. I think they got a lot of firepower out there. New offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, is there. So I think that only bolsters the backfield, and these backs, Kenneth Walker should have a monster of a season. We'll see if this JSN fluke from last season, with DK Metcalf still there, he still was absolute stud. Without Metcalf, in theory, should be even better. So we'll see if he can keep that going with the new quarterback.
Yeah, I think, it's time to rock out with your hawk out. It's, definitely a good time in Seattle right now. JSN, I think he takes that next step. Right now he's like, I don't think he gets into that Jefferson Chase, like that neighbors, that first tier, but I think he can definitely ascend into that second tier, because right now I think he is going in like that mid-second for season long, which is a good price tag for him. I'd feel comfortable having him as my wide receiver 2. He'd feel a little weird as my wide receiver 1, but I think it's something that could look better as the year goes on.
Who'd you take, Lad McConkey or JSN?
That's a tough one. I think I was faced with that decision in the Wads Tucky startup, and I ended up going Lad.
Coach, who do you go?
But I think it kind of depends on the day. I think I could go either way. But yeah, he's right there. He's in the Lad tier.
Both right next to each other.
Yep. So yeah, JSN, he's great. And then let's see. Oh, they just had some activity over at tight end. We got Elijah Arroyo probably starting now. He's that tight end out of Miami, freakish athlete. Who was it? They let go of somebody. I forget. But yeah.
Oh, they had what they have? No, they didn't have
Noah Fant.
Yes.
Yeah, Noah Fant got let go, and that was weird because they had just signed him. But anyway, Elijah Arroyo, I think he's the one that takes that job. But yeah, Kenneth Walker, I think he should go crazy. Zach Charbonnet is an overqualified RB2. I think he could start on a lot of teams. I like what he does. Loved his profile coming out of college too. And then Cooper Kupp, not someone I'm drafting just because of the oldness, the injuries, all of that stuff. But and then Jalen Milroe, very interesting prospect. One thing so we actually saw this in Seattle years ago. I believe it was Matt Flynn got signed to a contract, and they had drafted a rookie. I want to say it was a 3rd-round rookie by the name of Russell Wilson, who ended up taking his job. Jalen Milroe, I believe he's a 3rd-round rookie. So Sam Darnold, they paid him all that money. Jalen Milroe, I could see him possibly taking his job. He's just, I think he's like what Anthony Richardson should have been if it all plays out right. But I do really like Jalen Milroe. I know Vinny got him in a spot. I know he's excited about him just chilling on the taxi squad, but it could really become something. So yeah, rock out with your hawk out. Go Seattle.
So I think I'm a lot more down on Seattle than normal than other folks are. I don't think Darnold. I think we've forgotten that Darnold has done it for 1 year, or 1-ish years. And how much of Darnold's success was Minnesota scheming him up perfectly to be successful? So, I don't know. I don't know anything about this is Clint Kubiak, first offensive coordinator with Seattle. I don't know if he has a history with Darnold and they have some sort of relationship, but all of these fantasy assets are very much quarterback dependent, and that's why the Lad versus JSN, it's easy Lad for me because I know the quarterback situation is solid. Whereas Darnold has 1 year of good quarterback play under his belt, and then a whole career of backups and failures under his belt. So I gotta see it in more than one team with Darnold to believe in it. But if he shits the bed, then Jalen Milroe gets a chance, who I think is extremely dynamic, maybe not as polished, but could be a very exciting rest of the season. So I don't know. For me, it all hinges. Yeah, this is for sure. And Coach's not favorite is currently Sam Darnold, because so much hinges on him doing well, and I haven't seen him do well but just one time. So, hey, good for him. He had a great season. He got paid for it, but I got to see some games put together where he's being successful before I trust JSN, Cooper Kupp, that running game. So that's, I feel like I'm a lot more hesitant with Seattle than other folks are right now.
So if we're being honest here, he's played for Jets, Carolina, and back up at San Francisco. Not the best opportunities before he hit Minnesota with the excellent wide receivers he had. So for that reason, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. If he was on the segment Draft Me Daddy, I would be drafting him all day long. But we'll save that for our next segment.
I tend to think that Sam Darnold might be ass, but he had a good year last year. But there is that grain of salt. Like I think Kevin O'Connell can make anybody look good. But also the Jets were such a bad organization, and it's hard to unsee that with Sam Darnold. So there might be some sort of like Creed. Like, you listen to Creed and it's like, oh, they're nasty. And then like you get a little older and it's like, hold me now. And like you can't stop listening to Creed. And it's like, you know what? I fucking love Creed. I'm gonna listen to them every day. And so it's kind of like that. But that Sam Darnold is the Creed of the NFL.
Wow.
All right.
No one else has ever said that about Sam Darnold.
No, I think Kirk Cousins is a proud advocate for Creed, so he's right there with you. If you're watching out there, drop us a hint that you want to go see Creed, and we'll be there with you.
We're gonna go to a Creed concert with Kirk Cousins.
We will. We just won't hold you and sway you, but we will be there with you. So let's go ahead and rank them for NFC West. What do you guys have for your rankings end of season?
I'm going to go the LA Lambs, the Seattle Seahawks, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Arizona Cardinals. Book it.
I'm going Seahawks, Rams, tight race, and then drops off to San Fran, and then drops off a cliff down to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'll go Niners, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals.
All different. Awesome.
Yeah. Except for the Cardinals are fourth.
We know where they belong.
They know where they belong.
All right. Well, it's my turn to pick the players for Draft Me Daddy, Bench Me Daddy. And so I'm going to throw out 3 different guys, and y'all will tell me where you stand on drafting them or benching them. So our first one is Stephon Diggs showing off his dig, he's covering his dig right there. So yeah, he's in New England these days with his dig. So where do y'all stand on him or on his dig?
I mean, between the injuries and I really don't know what kind of a guy he's going to be in New England. If he's going to be the drama queen and throw me the ball, and they're a new young team. We don't want to hurt the quarterback. We want to promote his growth. Diggs, obviously, towards the end of his career, but personally, I'm staying clear of him. I think he will drop. Where that is, I don't know. Maybe if he drops far enough, I'll look at my board and maybe it entices me. But initial pick is a definite bench me.
Yeah, you can leave that up. So bench me, daddy. Just I don't know. Yeah, if he falls and we're in a dead zone where I don't see any upside guys,
yep.
I might touch his digs. But right now, there's even a receiver that I like more that we'll talk about next week as we preview the AFC East. But yeah, I'm not in on Diggs. He's old. I don't know. I can see him getting hurt or just throwing a fit or something. I just don't want him on my team. See ya.
Okay, so my next one isn't as risque.
Well, what are you doing? Are you benching him?
Oh, sorry. I'll draft him because he's cheap and he had a bad year and he got hurt. But we all know Diggs is good for if on the field, he's good for 6 to 8 weeks of production. So I would draft him to get off to a good start, and then
I think he'd fit a flex position. I think.
Yeah, that's where he's at in his career. So, do you want to pump or dump Montgump?
God, he's cheesing so hard too.
He's clothed.
He is very clothed. His dig is not out.
I typed into Google David Montgomery sexy, and there's nothing.
This is the best you can do.
There's no sexy photos. He doesn't.
He's a classy dude.
Himself.
He's very classy. Because is it the same situation without Ben Johnson, or does he take a big hit without Ben Johnson? I personally am not taking him because I'm not a fan of these backfields with two dynamic running backs. I tend to draft running backs early, and late those running backs I try to target that are on a sneaky team that no one really thinks of, kind of like we talked about earlier with James Conner. He might slip your mind, and then you snag him while he's the last of the RB1s that's still out there with no real competition in the backfield. I'm not a fan of these double backfield situations personally. For that reason, that's why I'm going to be benching him. Still love him, but benching him for my team.
Yeah, I'm gonna bench him as well. Jahmyr Gibbs for life. He's 10 times the back that David Montgomery is. I do have Montgomery in a league, and I think I was trying to play high floor. Not so much a high ceiling. Like everyone's really just what if you own both of these guys, or if you own Gibbs, you're really just hoping for something to happen where Gibbs gets all the touches. But he can coexist with Montgomery. So for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not drafting him because I think people still. I think about your average fantasy player who's not keyed in. They may not even know that Ben Johnson left, and so they're still valuing David Montgomery based on the last couple of years. So he's probably going higher than he should go. And then savvy fantasy folks know, okay, well, Gibbs has been slowly taking over more anyways, and Ben Johnson is gone. So I think what you'd have to pay for him is too high, and fantasy owners know that Montgomery's fading and Gibbs is ascending. So I think you got to bench him, daddy.
Yeah.
All right. Last one is a sexy one, so brace yourselves. Your new quarterback of the Jets, Justin Fields.
Where's he at again?
The Jets.
Oh. Ooh.
Look how hot. Look how hard he's trying to look big, even though he's a very small man.
It looks like he could be in Weights for Men.
He definitely
fit right in. obviously he's not a QB1. So I think in a 2 QB super flex, I would look at him clothed. I think with the Garrett Wilson combination, and he has the ability to move with his feet and pass the ball. For whatever reason, it just seems like the Jets are plagued by whatever it is. I think for his dynamic upside with passing and rushing abilities, I would take him in super flex leagues, and that's probably about all where I would reach out and try to draft him.
He's someone that it's all right. So I'll just do this. So he could really go either way for me. It's really situational. Like if I was waiting on quarterback and absolutely missed on every single potential target, then I would draft him. I'm trying to think, like, would I draft him or Cam Ward if I had to choose between the two? And obviously this is late. But you know, I don't know. I tend to believe that Cam Ward is going to be really good. The New York Jets, they have like little to.
Does that make you want to draft him a little bit more?
Maybe. Oh, all right. So he's looking right there. So so yeah. Well. Yeah, why not? So yeah, I mean he's got the rushing upside. He's got Garrett Wilson. He's got Mason Taylor. So at least 3 reasons to draft him. He's cheap. He's I don't know, but like most leagues, like I can think of 10 or 12 better quarterbacks to take. So like super flex, it makes sense because of the rushing upside. If you want a backup quarterback, then it makes sense. Lately, I've been like not even drafting a backup quarterback. I'm just like, hey, 10 to 12 off the board. Like there's still guys I like in the bottom third of the league. So you might even be able to go undrafted and pick him up or something. I don't know, but why not? Let's draft him.
Yeah, I would draft him. He's surrounded by Lions coaching staff. So
defensive coordinator is the head coach.
And then the offensive coordinator is the passing game coordinator, former passing game coordinator for the Lions. So, it's not. I mean, I know a lot of people were just reaching for Lions to like just steal them for coaching staff this year based on the past couple of years of success. But maybe some of that Lions success in the passing game will rub off. Also, him and Garrett Wilson have a good relationship, or seem like they want to play together. And I'd rather Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers, for the Jets. So I hope he like finds some of that he used to have a couple seasons back. So, hey, did y'all know we had a comment?
I just saw it. Thanks for tuning in. Dynasty is my life. All right, let's see. So Dynasty is something I really like, and we all play Dynasty. So we'll take on this question. In the middle of a 12-team Superflex, no QBs left. I have Purdy and Mayfield. Was offered Tua, a 26 first and a 27 first for Purdy and Burden. 26 first should be a top 6 pick, in my opinion. Should I take it? All right, let's piece it out. All right.
Well, you are our resident up-and-coming players in the 26 and 27 round. So I'd love to hear your opinion on this first.
Yeah. So a top 6 in 2026. I'm kind of down on the 2026 class. I don't play Superflex. I know that's weird for Dynasty, but I'm kind of a purist when it comes to one QB. I know that's weird to say, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little down in the 26 class, but with that being said, at least have a top 6, right? So the 27 first. Now that's what really gets me excited. So the 27 first is awesome. I do love Burden. Purdy, I think, is kind of middle of the road. I think Purdy and Tua are kind of, you can probably interchange those and you get all that draft capital. Honestly, I think I'm taking it. I do believe in Burden a lot too, but if you put it into a calculator, a trade calculator, it'll say that you win if you take this one. If you want a little more validation on that, I haven't put it in there, but I know that's what Keep Trade Cut would probably say. So Dynasty's your life. Make the trade. Keep the bloodline of the league flowing. What do you guys think?
I like keeping Mayfield. We discussed him last week. I think he's set up pretty solid on his wide receiver core. So I like Mayfield having a repeat of last season. Tua obviously is up in the air with his injuries and such. So hit or miss on that one, but there should be obviously quarterbacks coming out every single year that you'll have a chance to look at if something happens to in this season. But I do like getting 26th first and 27th first as well. That's solid picks. So I like it for those reasons. Burden obviously is I think we haven't talked about that division yet, but it's a crowded wide receiver room up there in Chicago. So it might be tough for him to get footing early on, but I do like the trade from your standpoint, at least.
Yeah. And also I will point out, so I am down on the 2026 first for 2026 class as in general, but I also play one QB. So 2026 I know is very strong at quarterback. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks coming out. So that might be why I'm down on the 2026 class, because I don't really look at quarterback too much. But I would say that 2026 first is nicer looking since you are in a super flex. And then 2027 first, that's going to be very rich at wide receiver. I think some really good ones are going to come out early. You got Jeremiah Smith, you got Ryan Williams, you got there's a guy out of Clemson, there's a guy out of Auburn. I think it's not Keon Coleman. I don't want to say his last name's Coleman, but my mind's getting fuzzy right now on those. But there's 2027 class is going to be really nice. So I would take those, run with the picks, and also like you'll get that quarterback in 2026 with what should be a top 6. But that's my take on it. We'll miss Burden, but other than that, I think it's a win if you take it.
So Dynasty is my life. Get your hand off your dick and smash the accept button on that trade. And that's doctor's orders, Peepaw's picks, and coach's favorite, all in one. There's your little brand.
And get this play money, baby. Oh, but yeah, no, we appreciate the comment. That's the most action we've gotten on this show all night. So make sure you join our Discord. We have the link in the comment section. We'd love to have you there to continue conversations. And also you could be like our 49th subscriber. So anyway, we love you so much. Thanks for joining. And so I'd plug the Discord in there. I believe you came in here at the end of the show, but hopefully you enjoyed what you did see. And anything else we want to go over, Coach V?
Well, I think we're just going to hit the finisher here. So we like to do 5 simple things when we leave, and those things are live, laugh, love, and especially for you, Dynasty's in my life, like and subscribe. Fifth Quarter Fantasycast. Walk another while of me, laugh and drink and say there was something, but you say there was nothing, but you say it with a smile. Whoa.